My good Yaskin Corlia. Ara previously asked the issue of you in relation to the flood defence in County Donegal from parliamentary questions and also when you appeared in committee. In relation to Donegal Town in particular, you acknowledged that the works were being planned, but that they, and I quote you, that the project for Donegal Town is not in the first phase of projects to be progressed, that the OPW and DCC, Donegal County Council, are working closely to ensure that it will be commenced as early as possible in the current programme. And today I want to ask you, well, what is the update? What is the update in terms of Donegal Town? Many ministers have made promises, visited the area, so what stage of the works at now?
Thanks, Les Corla. So I'm advised by the Office of Public Works that a major flood relief scheme for Donegal Town was identified in the flood risk management plan for the North West River Basin, and the proposed project is at preliminary cost estimate of €8.5 million, consisting of floodwater storage and a series of flood embankments and walls which will provide flood protection to approximately 73 properties when completed. And the flood scheme will be funded through the government's €1.3 billion flood risk management funded through the National Development Plan up to 2030. While the proposed project, which Deputy Doherty referred to, which I already alluded to in my committee appearance, is not part of the first phase of projects to be progressed through the Office of Public Works and Donegal County Council, are working closely with the intention of delivering the scheme within the timeframe of the current National Development Plan, subject to no external and unforeseen challenges, which unfortunately do arise through the planning process. The Office of Public Works are working closely with its local authority, delivering partners at all times strive to expedite and progress the capital works relief within the minimum delay within the resources available to it. Once consultants are appointed to progress the scheme, consultation with the statutory and non-statutory bodies as well as the general public will take place within the appropriate stages to ensure that all parties have the opportunity to input into it. In addition, the Office of Public Works Minor Mitigation Works and Coastal Protection Scheme provides funding to local authorities to undertake minor works, mitigation or coastal protection works and studies costing less than $750,000 to address localised flooding in each in their individual areas. In 2019, funding to Donegal County Council amounting to $369,000 were provided for a scheme in Donegal Town. The works included upgrade works to walls along the riverbank, installation of 3 large diameter non-return valves, replacement of the existing culvert, removing of overhanging trees from the banks and associated works, and these works are currently being progressed by Donegal County Council. As the Deputy will be aware, 15 projects were identified in Donegal under the flood risk management plans announced in 2018. Following consultation and discussions with the Office of Public Works and Donegal County Council, 6 projects were selected to be progressed in the first phase of implementation, in addition to a project already being progressed for REFO. So I'll finish the rest of it in a minute.
The Donegal Town needs to be moved into phase 1. It's located in the mouth of the estuary where the River Esk meets the Atlantic Ocean and at Donegal Bay. It's absolutely breathtaking place, but unfortunately it's acceptable to all types of flooding. In the past we've seen flooding from rivers overtopping. We've seen flash flooding as well as flooding from high tides and storm surges, and there have been a number of devastating events in Donegal since 2019 in Donegal Town in the aftermath of Storm Abigail and Storm Desmond in the winter of 2015, as well as Storm Lorenzo in 2019, and only for the Trojan work of council staff during Storm Barra at the end of 2021 we could have seen further devastation. So Donegal County Council predict that over 70 properties, both residential and commercial, are at risk in the area, and residents in Clarion Drive and Brookfield and those in Euro live in fear of new downpours and storm surges. So can I ask you, what is the time frame for delivery of this? Because the end of the programme is up to 2030, and these residents can't wait, hoping that it doesn't rain or the seas don't rise and that they won't be visited by this devastation again.
So, Deputy, in the immediate aftermath of Storm Barra, I met with the Commissioners, the Chairman of the Office of Public Works and the senior officials on a regionalised basis, not only dealing with the North West but dealing with all of our regions to see if we can expedite those projects that currently are not in Tranche 1, because we do have an issue in relation to, unfortunately, some of our projects are log-jammed in judicial reviews, court challenges and a whole pile of other delays outside of our control and outside of the control of our local authority partners, and to try and see if we can expedite some of the projects that are in Tranche 2 and others. And the Office of Public Works engineering staff, together with our local authority colleagues, are working to see if we can do that. But we have a limited and finite amount of personnel and resources that are doing that, and it isn't that we are in any way holding back anything, and we are animating as many projects as we can. It's my intention, as soon as I can, in the coming number of weeks, actually, actually to visit County Donegal and to meet with Donegal County Council, not just in relation to Donegal Town, but the other projects that we are progressing through the CFRAMS projects, to see how they are progressing and to see the investment in the Office of Public Works. So I hope to be in a position to give a more fuller, I suppose, time frame around Donegal Town and the other CFRAM projects at that stage.
Minister, and I'm aware of some of the projects that are being held up outside of the control of the department, but as you said, that does provide an opportunity to move the scheme into phase 1. So if it's possible to move this into phase 1, is the Minister willing to do that in the first instance? You mentioned that you hope to go to Donegal. I welcome that. The local councillors, if they haven't already done so, will be doing so in the next number of days, inviting you to Donegal Town to meet with them and to the residents, again to hear at the huge risk that there's there for residents and commercial property. But crucially, my question is if there is a way to actually expedite this project, if the engineers on the ground come up with a plan to do that, is the Minister willing to look at moving this project into phase 1?
I answered in a priority question already to another Deputy Cairns from Cork South West. We don't have the capacity or the capability or even the legal standing to move projects any faster than they're doing, because we are a party to planning processes. So if we decide that we're going to try and gazump the planning process, there are people within this House and there are people outside of this House, Deputy, who will be only looking to try and get us into the forecourts. So we have to move flood risk management processes through through a sequential period and through a sequential process. And we are very conscious and very cognizant of the risk to Donegal and the risk of all of the other communities in County Donegal. And I'm conscious of the fact of the scourge of flooding in your county, as I am, and the scourge of flooding in every county. But we are trying to alleviate it as quickly as we can. But we have to do so on the basis that we know and that there are only people out there too happy to try and get us into the High Court and injunct us and seek judicial review. But what I will commit to you is I will be going to Donegal in the next number of weeks, and when I do so, I'll let you and all the other Oireachtas members know, as obviously I'll be working with Donegal County Council to make sure that the time frame for my visit and to see the progress of those schemes, and we will try and get as full a visit as possible to the county.
Thank you.